Well, it's a hot one today, so I won't stay long in the car for this last live update, but rather than just post a picture of the stats, I thought I'd share with you and also the thoughts after the journey. Back home, it's, what time did we get home? Probably 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, so it's 4:15, 4. Really weird thing with this was, on the first trip that I did where I charged on the 7 kilowatt chargers for free, I left really silly o'clock in the morning, but I arrived at Woodall Spa at the same sort of time as we did today for lunch, and then we got home at the same sort of time. So DC fast charging on the trip has only charged for 20 minutes, half an hour, that sort of time-ish, probably a bit more in reality, but that's all we actually needed to do. But the 7 kilowatt fast charging, slow charging that I did, took 2 hours, just over 2 hours, and yet the trip, I arrived at the same time and I've arrived home at the same time. So all I've gained by DC charging is not leaving at silly o'clock. So by leaving by 8:30 to 9 o'clock, when there's more traffic, I've DC charged and then had the same timescales and the same trip. Whereas if I left at 5:30 in the morning, which is silly o'clock, but I charged for free and the traffic was quieter. So it's really weird because I'm actually starting to think, I thought the 7 kilowatt slow charging was daft, but probably what makes more sense to me is to leave really early and DC charge and get home early so I can charge off solar. The car's plugged in, we're charging at 2.1 kilowatts at the moment. So there's a little bit of sun still, but I'm going to charge from the battery as well and run the high voltage battery down just to get the charge of the car up. We arrived back just as I predicted, with 10% of charge left, 11 miles of range, and I've got to confess, every dual carriageway I hit, I hit 70 miles an hour on the way back. I was not hanging around. The averages 5.1 miles per kilowatt hour for the entire journey, 107 miles, 39.7 miles per hour average speed. Now, considering when we poodle around Norfolk on most of our journeys, we're only doing 29 miles an hour, I think that shows that on this trip we took the faster roads, more dual carriageways, less concern, less thought about speed, and yet we've had the same day out and the same time scales. It's quite bizarre that we did it all differently, but it seems to have worked exactly the same. So I really wouldn't be that afraid of slow charging. If you've got the time and you can just get up earlier, it doesn't make any difference whether you fast charge or slow charge. Anyway, this was a really good exercise for Susan to take in 2 new chargers, the Instavolt at Lincolnshire at Boston and the Osprey charger at Dereham. Quite crazy that we arrived with 82% of battery at the Osprey charger and charged up to 98%. I only wanted to charge to about 90% and then go, a real splash and dash, but unfortunately she went shopping in Aldi, so it took a bit longer. Thankfully nobody needed the charger, nobody wanted the charger, so I wasn't blocking it, because it's not the thing to do to sit on rapid chargers at slower speeds. But you know, we were getting 20 kilowatts of power through, so it definitely wasn't a case of I should have moved off to the 7 kilowatt charger, because we were still charging quite quickly. And the thing to remember, if you're apprehensive of people charging above 80% on rapid chargers, if they're in a smaller EV with a smaller battery, they need the range, they need the extra percentage, so you can't criticize too much. Anyway, a really fun journey. I've got to unpack the cool box now with all the sausages, bacon, pies, chops, and heaven knows what else meat that I purchased, Kievs and stuff like that. And time for a cup of tea. I'm gasping for a cup of tea. But yeah, I think I'll charge the Mini now up to 20%, and then it'll be refilled tomorrow on solar. I'm not going anywhere tomorrow, so the car can sit on charge all day. Really pleased again that it's easy to calculate. I knew last time that I used 12 kilowatt hours of energy. This time we actually added 13 kilowatt hours of energy, 6 at the Osprey and 7, or was it even 8? It might have been 8 at the Instavolt. So we added a very similar amount of charge. I knew last time I set off with 85% to get back home. This time I set off with 88% from the Boston chargers to get back home. And again, it worked out perfectly. We had some charge left and comfortable, so comfortable in fact that I could put my foot down for a lot of the way on the way back. again for watching these updates. Hope you enjoyed them. I hope it gives some confidence to anyone thinking about going out in a smaller range car, especially if you've got a mini electric. It really is easy, and if you plan your journey, think about how many kilowatt hours you need, then you can look at your choices as to where you charge. You don't have to do it at the destination. You don't have to do it on the way back. You can do a bit here and a bit there, or you can do it all in one go. There's so many choices, and with that in mind, it does split the journey up. It was quite surprising that I was like drumming my fingers saying, come on Susan, where are you? I want to get going again. But she was quite happy, just taking a bit longer time. So yeah, charging is not an inconvenience at all. It's just part of the journey and part of the experience. And the fact that even charging on premium chargers at 40 pence a kilowatt hour, whatever it is, we're going to be paying £5.50 for this trip of 207 miles. That's all. Where if we went in the petrol mini, it would have been £25 at least. So yeah, electric really makes sense from all those points of view. Anyway, I'll stop rambling on. Thanks again for watching. Take care. See you again soon. Bye for now.